Have you ever just sat there and wondered what was really going on in their head after the breakup? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the profound psychological crisis an avoidant can face. And you'll see how your reaction, or maybe your lack of one, might have completely shattered the world they built to protect themselves.
You know that feeling? When you walk away from a relationship with an avoidant and you're left wondering, did my pain even matter? Did my silence even register? I'm here to tell you, oh, it did. It absolutely did. In fact, it probably had an impact that was way more powerful and way more destabilizing than you could ever imagine.
All right, so to really get why your reaction was such a big deal, we first need to understand the avoidant's inner world. Think of it like a fortress, a castle they've built around themselves. But it's not made of stone. It's made of a story, a very specific narrative they tell themselves to justify their own behavior.
Now look at this, because this is fascinating. This is how they translate their actions. What you see and feel as a toxic pattern, they've reframed into something totally reasonable. Emotional unavailability, oh, that's just them being independent. The way they pull away and create distance, no, they're just protecting their need for space. This story isn't just an excuse, it's a deep-seated defense mechanism that lets them see their own hurtful behavior as totally fine.
So because they're living inside this protected little world, when they decide to end a relationship, they aren't just leaving. They are running a psychological script. And in their script, you have a very specific part to play. They're counting on it.
And this really gets to the heart of it all. The breakup, the rejection, it's a test. And they are expecting an emotional reaction from you. Why? Because your hurt, your anger, your attempts to get them back, that's the fuel they need. It's the material they use to justify their decision and feel okay about it.
And it usually follows this exact pattern. Like clockwork. They push you away, fully expecting you to chase after them. And when you do, well, that chase makes them feel important, right? It validates them. But then they take your very normal human reaction and slap a label on it. Suddenly you're too emotional or clingy. And just like that, they have all the proof they need. Their decision to leave now feels completely justified.
But what happens when you just don't play the part? What happens when you throw the entire script out the window? What if instead of that big emotional storm they were banking on, you give them the one thing they never ever expected? Total silence.
And just like that, the whole play comes to a screeching halt. You didn't fight, you didn't beg, you didn't give them any emotional drama to work with, you just accepted their decision, and you walked away.
See, your silence wasn't passive. It was like a wrecking ball to their entire defensive structure. All of a sudden, there was no emotional fire for them to put out, which forced them to sit with their own feelings for once. There was no drama they could use to paint you as the problem. Your lack of pursuit gave their ego zero validation, and this is a big one. You took away their power to maybe, someday, come back on their own terms. This chart really shows you the internal breakdown. The biggest piece of the pie? Loss of control. 50%. They can't control the story anymore by blaming your reaction. That forces them into the next slice, self-reflection. They have no choice but to sit with the reality of what they did. And that last 20%, that's a shattered ego. Your silence sent a message, loud and clear. You aren't worth chasing. Ouch.
And this is the truly devastating moment for them. That independence they fought so hard for, the very thing they rejected you to protect, your silence and your absence reveal it for what it truly is. It's not strength. It's not freedom. It is a deep, profound loneliness. They got exactly what they thought they wanted, and now they have to sit in the deafening emptiness of it.
Okay, so let's flip the coin. What if you didn't give them silence? What if you did the opposite, and you gave them a raw, unfiltered look at the immense pain they caused you? Well, that can be just as shattering for them, maybe even more so. This right here is the key. When they see the real, undeniable evidence of your pain, they hear it in your voice, they see it in your face, their whole protective story just crumbles to dust. They're no longer the good guy who just needed some space. In that moment, they're the person who caused harm, and that realization triggers their deepest, most buried terror.
So you might be thinking, why do they pull away even more when they see I'm hurting? Well, it's not always because they're cruel. It's a phenomenon called empathic overwhelm. They literally feel your pain so intensely that it floods their entire system. They don't have the emotional tools to handle it, so their default defense mechanism kicks in. Shut down, pull away, create distance. It's a desperate attempt to save themselves from drowning in that feeling.
You can literally see the dominoes fall here. It all starts the second they witness your pain. Boom, their story shatters. Immediately, a massive wave of shame washes over them, which is the one feeling they have spent their whole life trying to avoid. And to escape that unbearable feeling, their brain hits the panic button. They freeze up, they shut down completely, or they might even get angry just to push you, the source of their shame, away.
This chart just lays out their inner terror perfectly. The responsibility they feel for hurting you is sky high. That triggers their absolute worst fear, that they are fundamentally broken, just a bad person. But here's the real kicker. Look at that third bar. Their belief in their ability to actually fix the situation is incredibly low. They feel the full weight of the damage, but feel totally powerless to repair it. And that's what causes the total system shutdown.
So whether it was your silence or your pain, they might have had this huge moment of clarity. They might finally get it. But, and I really need you to hear this, this is the most important part of our entire conversation. You have to understand that awareness is not the same thing as change. Not even close.
Awareness is only step one. It's a huge step for sure, but it is a giant, and I mean giant, leap from just seeing the pattern to actually doing the grueling work it takes to change it.
Just look at this breakdown. It says it all. Awareness? That can happen in a flash. It's just recognizing something. But actual change? We're talking months, maybe even years of hard, active work, usually with a professional. Awareness feels uncomfortable, sure, but change feels deeply threatening to their core defenses. One often stays just an idea, while the other holds the real potential for healing.
So why doesn't this big light bulb moment lead to real change? Well, for one, sometimes telling you they're aware is just a tactic to pull you back in. But more often than not, the familiar comfort of their defenses, even if it's lonely, just feels safer than the terrifying work of real growth. They might not even have the tools or motivation to change, or they might just hope that knowing the problem is the same as fixing it. It's not.
So here's the bottom line. Your reaction, whatever it was, may have held up a mirror and given them the gift of self-awareness. But that's where your job ends. It is 100% their responsibility to decide what to do with that gift. The hard, painful work of unwrapping it and actually using it, that's on them, not you.
And that brings everything back to you. Because understanding their internal crisis can be incredibly validating. I get it. It can bring a sense of closure. But the real question, the one that truly matters now, isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Knowing all this, what's the next step for your healing? What do you need to do to move forward now that you are finally free of their script?